Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Coffee, part of the Provoking Safety channel where we think, talk, and do safety with the intention of provoking safety at home and in the workplace. The Morning Coffee is my opportunity to touch base with you first thing in the morning and hopefully provoke safety and keep it on your mind throughout the day. Today is Monday, September 14th. Really nothing significant about September 14th other than it's Monday. Happy Monday. Welcome to a new week. Today, I want to look at a quick article. Well, not that it's a quick article, it's an article, but I want to look at an article regarding worker safety or lack thereof. I'm going to apologize right off the bat. Usually I try to highlight things, but this article, for some reason, I guess it's the North Shore News and what they've done with their behind-the-scenes scripting. It comes up with these irritating Facebook things. I'm not going to because it would be littered all over and it would look like some sort of weird ransom note. In October 2018, this fellow, Donald Jantz, was doing some work and he fell. He was rushed to the hospital and unfortunately he died of his injuries. Now, once again, just a quick disclaimer. This is not me trying anybody in the court of public opinion or raking them over the coals via social media. I just want to point out a few of the health and safety issues within this article and hopefully get people thinking about them. The terminal is under federal jurisdiction. Reason being is any occupation or set of occupations where there's a crossing of borders internationally or provincially usually falls under federal jurisdiction just because of the fact it's hard to say who's going to have the jurisdiction over them. So that's why this falls under federal jurisdiction. The accident was investigated by Employment and Social Development Canada, and they recommended charges under the Canada Labour Code. Later last week, charges were sworn against this corporation in provincial court by the federal crown. Now, the charges include a few things. One is something that's common, which is failure to ensure employee health and safety is protected. See, it's got this irritating thing. Failure to ensure machinery meets safety standards, which is also common across jurisdictions because employers are all required to ensure that the machinery that workers are using or performing their tasks with meets all the safety standards. The two most important ones that I want to point out here are failure to respond to reports made by employees. I don't know the particulars of the whole investigation. More than likely, safe to assume these were recommendations to the employer made through the site Health and Safety Committee. Yes, health and safety committees are still required at the federal level. The other thing that's disconcerting is 4 counts of failing to assess hazards in the workplace. I've got a series on hazard assessment up here. Feel free to have a look at it. One thing to note, rights of workers are, one of the tantamount rights of a worker in Canada is the right to know the hazards associated with their workplace or the work they're performing. The employer is responsible for ensuring these hazard assessments take place. The charge is the employer failed to identify and assess the hazards in the workplace. This is quite serious because really and truthfully, hazard assessment is the foundation of health and safety practices. As it is, you can see here the Crown is alleging that a number of work safety infractions resulted in this worker's death. One of the things that's quite concerning, and it should be concerning for employers here, the maximum penalty is a $1 million fine per count. Quite likely that's not going to occur. I don't know, can't predict. I don't know that I'm going to air another video tomorrow showing more fines that were levied against an organization. And these monetary penalties are increasing, but they don't seem to be a deterrent to a lot of companies. One of the vice presidents of the union that's oversees this area had a quote. This part is disconcerting here, and I don't know, there's no facts included in it, but he said, "We've had so many fatalities on the waterfront." No matter what, any statement has to have some basis of fact in it in general cases, especially if it's something that's published. One of the things that is maybe a high point is this part right here where the federal system of the Site Safety Committee worked the way it was intended to work, but if it had been working, the recommendations to the employer would have been followed. It's unfortunate that this is something that brings to the forefront the work that health and safety committees do within an organization. One of the things that health and safety committees will do is they will bring recommendations to the employer on creating safer work practices and processes. Health and safety committees are a valuable part of any workplace in any organization, and depending on the jurisdiction, if you're smaller than 20 people, then usually it's a worker representative that is tasked with this. And that's a bit more difficult because it's one person, but it's a smaller organization. Either way, employers have a responsibility to listen to the recommendations that are brought forward by either worker representatives or health and safety committees. I don't know what it's going to take, but hopefully this will be a wake-up call for other employers that haven't befallen something or similar circumstances, that they will actually start taking into consideration the recommendations made by employees. Now, fortunately, most jurisdictions include a requirement within either the regulation or code, basically within the legislation, that employers are required to respond to recommendations made to the employer. A lot of these pieces of legislation don't necessarily force the employer to comply with the recommendations. They just have to make a response. Anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully I've given you something to think about. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Until I do me a favor, think safety, talk safety, and do safety with the intention of provoking it at home and in the workplace. If you like the video, go ahead, do me a favor. Click the like button down here. And if you didn't like it, go ahead, clobber that unlike button, but do me a favor, tell me why. And if you haven't, or if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't done so already and you enjoy the content, once again, I'll get this right yet. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell, and click all, and you'll get notified when new content appears on the channel. Anyway, until I see you again, take care and bye for now.